Yo, what's good? Welcome to Weekly Custom Battles Showcase, or Custom Battles Weekly Showcase, I don't know. We'll workshop the name later. Technically, this is episode 1, but it's also technically episode 2, but we'll just call this one episode 1, and the last video will just be a prequel or something. Anyway, my name is Revan, this is a new series I'm starting, and I'll be your host today as I show you guys some of the coolest, funniest, or most degenerate custom battles I've come across this week. We'll figure out some kind of ranking system, and at the end, one lucky winner will be deemed the Menace of the Week. What will they win? Absolutely nothing. I have nothing to give you. I am sorry. I'll make sure to include all of the IDs, so if you're playing Sparking Zero on PC, you can check these battles out for yourselves. So, let's get into it. Up first, we have Surpass Jackie Chun Goku. This custom battle is awesome, obviously inspired by the Jackie Chun vs Goku fight in OG Dragon Ball. There isn't much else to say about it besides it was a fun fight with some cool scenes thrown in between that made this custom battle one of my favorite ones to play so far. I love the OG Dragon Ball representation, and hopefully one of these days we'll get Kid Krillin for some more custom battle nonsense. The rating for this one is dope. Next up we have Cabba's Rampage. Clearly inspired by all of the Cabba vs Gogeta memes that were all over the internet. I've seen several versions of this fight uploaded already. This is just the first one I came across and it had the most plays, so there you go. Not a whole lot to say. Rating for this one? Meme. It's a meme. You know, memes. Yeah, so. Anyway, the third custom battle today is one that I briefly used the footage of in the last video, and it's called Wifey Returns Home. And this one is just out of pocket, bro. Kefla and Goku are on some kink stuff, and I just... Man, I'm not even going to spend too much time on this one. It did crack me up. It's wild. It's ridiculous. You, sir, and or madam are a menace. Rating for this one is a big, fat degenerate with a capital D for D's nuts. Next, meme. Keeping in with the degenerate theme, we have 2 Hubby. What a ride this custom battle was. It's so outlandish. I was dying when I was playing through it, and basically, Gohan is cheating on Videl with Cell. She catches them, and it's an all-out brawl after that. There's a few different scenes sprinkled in throughout the fight, including an absolutely insane one about halfway through, where Cell Jr. is Gohan and Cell's child. I mean, this is just off your rocker content. And honestly, a part of it reminds me of how in Dragon Ball Z Abridged, Cell is a quote-unquote fight sexual because of his Goku DNA.
We wrote him and Goku in that arc to be fight sexual. They treat fighting like fucking. That's their whole thing.
Because Goku is also a quote-unquote fight sexual. It's just insane to me that Cell is the other woman between Gohan and Videl. This one is silly, completely out of pocket, another menace here, and the rating for this one is degenerate / menace for Cell Jr. being Gohan and Cell's child. I mean, what the fuck, bro? Our 5th battle today is Child Extermination, similar to Goku vs. Child from last week. This fight is just Z-Brawly fighting Kid Gohan. It's a pretty short and straightforward one, so this section will also be short and straightforward. But I thought I'd include it just for the visual alone. Just seeing bowl cut Kid Gohan from the Frieza saga versus Brawly, the legendary Super Saiyan, it tickles my funny bone in a specific way. Rating for this one, savage. Good job. Up next is probably the most cursed Dragon Ball image I've ever seen in my life, bro. This is Chaozu's Rampage, and the main reason I played this battle and included it here is because of this image. Chaozu has always been a little creepy in design for me, which, you know, is fitting considered he's based on a Chinese vampire and all that. But this image, man, this is Dragon Ball Nightmare Fuel if ever there was such a thing. Anyway, about the fight itself, you play as Chaozu with infinite sparking mode, fighting against 5 different giant characters. So naturally, this fight is just key spam. Key blast after key blast after key blast, with the occasional Dodon Ray thrown in there for some form of variation. Honestly, this fight was pretty boring to me personally. On paper, the concept is hilarious, but in practice, all I did was fly around, swaying left and right, you know, Serpentine Babu style, and spam Y. It was boring, man. I'm sorry. I'm sure others probably found ways to make this fight more entertaining, but I didn't. play this one more than once, and I probably won't play it again, honestly. Rating for this one will be mid with a side of low-key melatonin, I don't know. Our 7th battle today is a pretty interesting one in my opinion. This battle is called Chi-Chi Awakens, and it's a very interesting concept. What if Chi-Chi made a wish on the Dragon Balls when Raditz kidnapped Gohan? A wish for her to be strong enough to protect her, at the time, only child. A very interesting what if on paper, and in practice what this means is Chi-Chi becomes Kefla and proceeds to go off on Raditz like it's SmackDown vs. Raw. Now, the creator did label this battle as story-centric, and I can confirm you're going to be interrupted several times throughout the battle to hit more story beats, which at first was fun and interesting. But after the first few times, you're kind of like, "Hey man, come on, let me fight, bro." Fun fact, I actually failed this battle the first time. This might sound like cope, but as I mentioned in the last video, when I'm recording while playing Sparking, sometimes my gameplay slows down by a lot. So my timing for counters and vanishes gets just completely destroyed, and it's completely luck on my part if I land super counters or not. My second go around, I was able to beat Raditz as quote unquote Chi-Chi, but what's really interesting is the storyline if you lose this fight though. Raditz takes Gohan with him to meet Vegeta and Nappa, and what happens after that I'll leave as a surprise for those of you that want to play this one yourselves. I highly recommend you do, because this one was honestly one of the more interesting custom battles I've come across this week, and honestly, if I was going to give it a number rating for this one, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. But our custom rating scale for this one is going to be dope, with a zesty side of creative, entertaining, and unique. Up next, let's talk about our 8th battle, which is God of Death. This fight was one of the first I checked out this week, and it was pretty funny. Gave me a bit of a chuckle, as they say. It's in keeping with the meme of Frieza Soldier being an OP being, which I have seen floating around here and there. People are obviously having fun with this character, and I think that's dope. In the opening scene, you see just everybody mop from fighting Frieza Soldier, some monologuing in true DBZ fashion, and then you start fighting him. And honestly, he's a decently difficult fight for the CPU. Not overwhelmingly difficult, but not one you can completely steamroll over either. Halfway through the fight, homie transforms into, you guessed it, Z Broly. What do I think of this form? I think this is silly, outlandish, and honestly unexpected. But I don't know what I expected because obviously Frieza Soldier doesn't have an actual transformation, so I almost thought there was going to be some modded transformation or something like that. But nope, Z Broly, which made me laugh when it happened. It was an entertaining battle with a silly concept, so we're gonna rate this one meme-y and silly. I liked it. Last but certainly not least, we have Hand Over Woman. Man, seeing this one was a trip. The whole premise is Yamcha stepping up to reclaim Bulma from Vegeta. Side note, women are not possessions and no woman owes you anything at all. But this was just a funny what if. Seeing Yamcha stand up to Vegeta, instead of cowering away like he would in the Abridged series, I couldn't help but root for the man whose signature attack is the Wolf Fang Fist. Spoiler alert, once you beat Vegeta against all odds, future Trunks shows up. He probably thinks that he won't exist if Yamcha beats his dad and gets the girl, but we know that that's not the case because the whole timeline is different, and of course,
multiverse theory's a bitch.
So Trunks would be fine. But regardless, Mans isn't content just watching his pops get clowned on, so he jumps in ready to defend his father's pride. I actually really enjoyed this custom battle. I hadn't played Yamcha at all until I played this one, and honestly, we all know Yamcha gets clowned on, like a lot. It's one of the oldest Dragon Ball Z memes. But for real, Yamcha is dope, bro. I fuck with Yamcha. And the Wolf Fang Fist is an attack I always loved in OG Dragon Ball. I'll rate this battle menace, savage, and dope. Now I gotta figure out who's the menace of the week for this one. And honestly, for me, it's gotta be 2Hubby. It was just so out of pocket, and the fact someone sat down at their computer 4 hours and made this fight, yeah, you win menace of this week, fam. Comment down below whether you agree or disagree with my pick, and who you would give the title of menace of the week. So yeah, that's gonna be it for me this week, my guy. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing because this series is here to stay. While the sparking discourse online is mostly about DP battle cheese and people arguing and all this drama, I'm just gonna keep chilling with these custom battles. I love seeing the creativity. I have a lot of fun checking out these wild stories, and I really do believe custom battles are gonna have a dedicated fan base that's gonna go on for years to come, bro. People still play Xenoverse 2. People still play Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Bro, this is here to stay, bro. There's gonna be a fan base for it. Besides, it's not like I could even play online if I wanted to right now. So yeah, anyway, bye.